Welcome to SEC Baseball. It's been a long weekend. I'm exhausted, but I'm here for you. I've warned you all going into Friday's game. SEC baseball was no joke. It was going to be nail biting. It's going to be frustrating. You're going to be angry. And, well, I'm pretty confident we can say that we felt every one of those emotions this weekend. Unfortunately, the Tigers lose a series to the Vanderbilt Commodores or the Vandy Boys 2-1 over the weekend. But the important thing to note is they didn't get swept. Now, I know what you're saying, Paul. They lost the series. How can you find any goodness in that? Well, we're going to talk about that today. There's always a silver lining to everything. Not getting swept today is a huge one. Did the Tigers look good this weekend? No. I'm not going to tell you they did. We saw more warts than we did beauty marks. But Jay is coming around and he's seeing everything he needs to see. There are guys stepping up in positions that, frankly, I didn't think they would have it in them. Whether you believe in this team or not, or believe this team is an Omaha team anymore, you cannot question this team's talent. You cannot question the talent and the experience and the coaching staff. X is not a real place. I'm going to keep reminding you of that. X is not a real place. Comments and concerns by burner accounts are just that. Fairy dust. Fairy dust and Bud Light. That's all it is. Treat it as such. Now, when I post something, you know my face, you know my voice, you know how I feel. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to sunshine pump you. I'm not going to lie to you. I have to come on here, and most of the time I'm live and you can comment and tell me what you think tonight. Well, today, I'm not because, well, I'm spending all my money on Pick to Click, so I have to pay my bills one way or another. I have to have a job. I'm going to be honest with you with everything I see. I keep writing, and I talked about before with David Billiot and Go Deep Dive on the recaps this weekend about the road to 18. If you don't understand what I'm saying when I say that, I'm talking about the amount of SEC wins you need to get into the postseason, preferably host a regional or super regional. Now, do you need 18? No. My 18 was my expectations for this team going into the season. I thought they'd win 18 to 20 games. Matter of fact, I'll tell you exactly what my take was. I said it on Timeouts and Tangents with AP and David Billion on the preview show. I thought this team would be the first LSU team to ever win the SEC and a national championship in the same year. Because in 8 national titles, none of those years did you win the SEC. Not the tournament, the SEC period, outright title. I thought this team had the talent to do it. To be honest with you, I still do. I'm not giving up on this team, and you shouldn't either. Like the road of good intentions is paved with all kinds of bad things, the road to 18 is going to have the same thing. It's funny. I had somebody tell me this weekend in a private conversation that they had a former coach that would tell parents, you do know that other team is trying to win as well. I think us as LSU baseball fans kind of get lost in the pageantry of it all of LSU baseball. We talk about the powerhouse. We talk about the program and the rich history and the titles and the intimidator that we have here in Baton Rouge. And sometimes we forget that you still got to play baseball games. No one's going to hand you the national title. If that was the case, give UCLA the national title and Rock Chalowski the Golden Spikes. Now, I know one person that would not be happy with the Golden Spikes comment because he is ripping the cover off the ball and doing everything he can to win it. That would be Jake Brown. I would have to say the past 7 days have been less than fun for the most part. Tuesday night, you beat Creighton, then you lose 2 straight to Vandy, and then you win today on Sunday when I'm recording this. It's going to be okay, guys. It's going to be okay. The road to 18 is going to be long and treacherous. And let me get back to that. I say 18. What do you need just to get into the dance? 15, 14. Some have gotten in with 13. I'd like to be at 500 if we get into the postseason, to be honest with you, before the SEC tournament. This team has a talent. You see it. Talking with Mr. David Belliot, Mr. Zach Nunez today during the game, we all came to the same conclusion that this team is either bipolar or I called them Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. We'll discuss that tonight. I asked on X if anybody had any thoughts, questions, or concerns for me for the recording tonight, and had a couple come in through posts and through DMs. So we're going to address that later as well. And is there anything else you want me to cover? Let me know. I'm happy to answer any and all questions, and I'll probably go look at some comments that were made on X this weekend of subjective fans and discuss those as well. Did the team look good this weekend? No. Far from it. Did they look like a bottom of the barrel SEC team? No. They didn't. You have a lot of talent on this team, and quite frankly, a lot of the talent you have that hasn't shown up. Once it does show up, if it shows up, it's just going to make this team better. I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. Wrap your arms around this team. Uplift them. They see what you say on X. They see it. Do you think it's helping them? I promise you it's not. Uplift these guys. The good part is the road to 18 just got shorter. We climbed on one rung, and we got one of the wins we need. We have 9 more weekends of SEC play, 27 more games. If you win 17 of them, you go 17-10 over the next 9 weeks. You're in a great spot. And that's not even including midweek games. Matter of fact, we're going to talk about that tonight too. We have Grambling coming up on Tuesday. Grambling, who you can kind of get a good glimpse of who they are because they've played a lot of the same opponents you've played here recently. But please, I'm begging all of you. If you love these Tigers and you love this team, and you love this program, if you're going to cheer for them when they win, lift them up when they lose. I'm not telling you to not say a negative thing at all. I say negative things all the time about them, but people call me a sunshine pumper. Hold them to account. Just don't bash them. That's all I ask. The road to 18 is here. We got one step closer to it today by beating Vandy. Before we get into the bulk of the show, we're going to do some housekeeping here. First of all, I want to thank you all for taking your time and listening, watching wherever you are. Please, I beg you, if you're on YouTube, like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you're watching on X, please follow both Walk It Off Talk on X as well as Paul Jared 16. Also, we have an Instagram. I'll be honest with you, I'm not great at posting there. I'm trying my best. Y'all keep me busy over there on X. Trying to keep everybody corralled. Go follow on Instagram. We're going to have some cool stuff coming. We're going to have some more sponsorships coming, and I cannot wait to share that that news with you and all the benefits that are going to come with it. Speaking of sponsorships, let's go ahead and roll that. In South Louisiana, there's nothing we love more than God, family, sports, and food. For your next get together, make sure you contact Lemise Sourdough Bakery. Whether you're gathering with friends and family for the big game or surrounding yourself with loved ones for a Sunday dinner, let Lemise Sourdough Bakery provide what you need to make it that much more special. Lemise Sourdough Bakery is a small batch, all organic bakery right here in the heart of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Go take a look at what's being mixed up in the kitchen next, as well as place your orders on Instagram at Lemise Sourdough Bakery. Don't forget to pick up your regular sourdough loaves, your jalapeno cheddar loaves, cookies for those late night snacks, and cinnamon rolls for those early morning cravings. Lemise Sourdough Bakery, where the first ingredient in anything made is love. Lemise Sourdough Bakery. Sorry about the mix up with the commercial there. It's the first time I did that format with it. And, computers are going to do computer things. Quick side note I didn't get to beforehand like I wanted to. Pick to Click. Congratulations to Reach for winning the Pick to Click today. He won the number one out of a series of 6 autographed Gavin Guidry baseball cards. So that means we have a new prize coming. I'm repeating one, but I think everyone will like it because he is going ham right now. Let me get it right. Jake Brown. Jake Brown signed JSA certified baseball. That is going to be up for grabs starting Tuesday. Hopefully, someone wins it. Make sure you get the Pick to Clicks in. I'm trying to get the post out earlier and earlier, like I'm promising you. I promise you I'm trying. It's not falling on me why it's getting late sometimes. But spread the word for me. Let people know that all I'm asking for is a follow. And you can win some cool stuff. I have some other really cool stuff coming. I'm trying to find the right times to give them out. That's it. I don't want to run out of really, really cool stuff until the end of the season. We are going to start doing more Jesus One shirts, and I may do some more jerseys to give away for anytime home runs, just to kind of add another little flavor to it. Let me know if you like that. I did have an idea given to me today by a friend who said maybe we should do strikeouts, because I do have some other stuff with pitchers. So maybe we'll do a ball for a pitcher, a signed pitcher, and you guess how many strikeouts they throw that night. Who knows? This weekend, I don't think really anybody would have hit that total. Now, let's get into the games this weekend.
Now batting for the American League.
Friday night was a game. It's funny. After Saturday night, Friday night looks great. Saturday night is a game that I promise you I'm probably not going to talk a whole lot about. There isn't a lot of good that can be spoken about. But Friday night, Casey Evans came out, and I have to explain a statement I made regarding Casey Evans. I said he didn't have a bad start. Well, I went back and rewatched the game. I'm not putting all the blame on Casey Evans, but it's not what I would call a quality start. Starting off with Casey Evans. Casey Evans went 3 innings, gave up 5 hits, 6 earned runs, and he walked 5. He had 5 strikeouts. I'm going to give you my main takeaway from that game. Let's be honest. We should have never been in that game to begin with. That score was way too close for how we played and how we pitched. We walked 11 and we hit 1. Let me make sure I get those numbers right, because I'm pretty sure I have. them right. Yeah. You walked 11 and you hit 1. Vandy scored 13 runs. They had a walk-off to beat you in the bottom of the 9th, which, trust me, with what I do on Thursdays with the walk-off compilations, I wasn't happy to see. But nevertheless, it happened. So let's talk about it. I warned you all about Connor Fennell and that changeup. It frisbeed. Now, I'll be honest, I thought Connor Fennell pitched a good game, but I didn't think it was as spectacular as it made it look. He had some good frisbee changeups, and I know in the first inning he made Milam look silly with one. But one thing I asked him to do is double his walk total in the year. He had 3 walks coming into the game, and he gave up 3 walks Friday. So you did that. You just couldn't capitalize on anything else. Earlier, I'd stated this team was Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And what I mean by that, in the same game, you could see 2 different versions of this team. Some innings, you'll see an 8-pitch inning, a 7-pitch inning, and an opposing pitcher looks like a guy who should be in the running for top pitcher of the year, top pitcher of the conference, higher draft prospect. And then some innings, they look terrible. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. I'm about to check the stats. I think you ran the starter today in 2 innings. Now, he hasn't thrown a lot this year because I think he's been out of the zone when he showed today, but you have that ability in you. Friday, there was a lot of good things that came out of Friday. Similar to the Creighton game, I said that this team got up and finished the fight. And they did. They got up and they got themselves in a chance to win. They just couldn't hold on to it. Sometimes you can finish a fight and not win. Not everybody's Mike Tyson, Floyd Mayweather. Some people are Jake Paul or Roy Jones Jr. You don't always win. But they fought. That's what I was excited about. They didn't give up. Positives from Friday's game, Jake Brown won. All weekend, it was basically a Jake Brown, Stephen Milam, Derek Curiel showcase. And Chris Stanfield. Anybody who said we wouldn't miss Chris Stanfield, what are you saying now? He didn't miss a beat. He's hitting SEC pitching. Does it look like he's been sitting out for over 2 weeks? I wouldn't say so. Is Vanderbilt a better team than you on Friday night? By the line score, yeah. In reality, no. You had 12 runs on 13 hits. They had 13 runs on 10 hits. And they had an error. No errors on us, even though some people want to move players off the field. Stephen Milam had 6 at-bats. He had 3 hits. Jake Brown had 5 at-bats. He had 3 hits. Derek Curiel had 4 at-bats, 2 hits. And where's Chrissy? Chris Stanfield had 4 at-bats, 2 hits. All in all, 9 through 3 had 19 at-bats. And let me do math, 7 hits. That was the bulk of your offense. Now, Aaron Beatty did have 2 hits and 4 at-bats. And he scored 2 runs. And Zach York, who a lot of people want to jump on right now, he went over 3. And he had 3 walks. Let's talk about Zach York real quick. And especially Friday night. No. I'm not even going to go Friday night. I'm going to talk about Saturday night real quick. They had a lot of people jumping on Zach York's back about the throw home to Cerna. Some people were saying he should have stepped on the bag and thrown. Some people were saying he should have made a better throw. I'm going to explain how that play goes down and how you're taught to execute that play anytime in baseball. Let's think about the situation. They had just intentionally walked, I think, Holcomb to load the bases. Why they do that? To put a force to every bag. I think there was one out in the inning. You bring the infield in, you throw home, stop the run, but you kind of selling out to stop the run and stop the bleeding. No, that didn't happen. Granted. Let's talk about how the play happened. Hard ground ball to first. Zach York does exactly what he's supposed to do. Take it and fire home. Why does he fire home, you ask? Let me tell you. You're worried about the lead runner. Trying to stop the run. If you get to 2 outs, then it's just out in every bag. You go to regular depth and hopefully you induce a ground ball or you get a strikeout. Could the throw have been better? The throw can always be better. There's never a perfect throw in baseball, period. I don't care who you are. The throw to Trent Carraway on Saturday off of his rear end was not a perfect throw, but it worked. I'll be honest, I'm upset with how the defense is being played behind the plate. Now, today was not bad. Again, the third game, it was not bad, but I'm still very upset with how the defense has been played behind the plate. Beatty and Cerner need to be better. I'm not talking about their at-bats. I'm talking about their defense. Their at-bats can get better too, but I am very proud of how Cerner's been swinging the bat, especially for a freshman. At the end of the day, yes, that ball may have been a little low or a lot low if you want to call it that. Cerner still needs to make that play. And we can make excuses for Cerner saying, Cerner, and say, oh, it's too low. He has all this gear on. He has a mask on. He has a catcher's mitt. Okay. You can make those excuses. I'm going to tell you who's not making that excuse. Jay Johnson, Josh Jordan, and Omar Cerna. I can promise you they didn't walk to the dugout or have a talk after the game about that play. And he went, you know what, man, you got so much gear on. I get it. Hey. Don't worry about it. You get him next time, kid. No, I promise you, every single one of them are saying you need to make that play. Let's talk about why York went home. Like I said, he went to the lead runner. The point of going to get that lead runner is on a hard hit ball with the infield pulled in to a corner guy at the best case scenario and first baseman, he can get that ball home, turn around, and go back to first. Cerna's already in front of the plate. He should be already in front of the plate with just his foot kind of acting like a first baseman at the plate. Foot back, receive, take out, and fire back down. You have plenty of time to get that done. It didn't happen. Whose fault is that? I want you to tell me whose fault is that? I put a lot of the fault on Cerna. Catch the ball. I love movie quotes, right? What's my wife's favorite movie quote? I've told y'all before. Bull Durham. You throw the ball, you hit the ball, and you catch the ball. Got it? That's all it is. You trying to tell me Cerna can't catch the ball? Come on. Now, I'm not trying to sit here and bash on Cerna. I'm really not. I promise you, he's been harder on himself than anybody in social media or me on this podcast could say that he's not already said to himself. And I believe in Omar Cerna. A lot. That is a misstep that is going to happen in SEC play. There were a lot of missteps this weekend. I'm hoping we're getting a lot of them out of the way now. And while we're on that subject, I'm going to talk. A lot of this I've already talked about. I don't do post games for this reason because I have to do a show by myself. But we've kind of had a lot of this talk with Go Deep Dive on the post games. But I want to talk about another thing that's been discussed on social media, extra and particularly about this team being compared to the 2024 team. And yes, I said this weekend that there's not really a pitcher on the staff that can equate to a Luke Holman or a Gage Jump. Now, I do believe Cooper Moore is closer to Luke Holman than anybody else, but Gage Jump is towards the end of the year is a far and better pitcher than what we have right now. And I want you to remember that. Remember Gage Jump. Remember Ty Floyd. Remember Chase Shores. Remember Thatcher Hurd in 23. In 23. These guys are allowed to get better as the year progresses. These guys are able to develop as the year progresses. And especially in baseball, where you don't want to be peaking in the beginning of the season. Just like Jay does with every team he wins a national championship with here at LSU, even the 23 team, they prime up right before postseason play. That's when they start playing their best baseball. Now, I'll admit, they have a long way to go right now. A very long way to go. But it is possible. It is possible. This team beats that 2024 team any day. Now, would Gage Jump make it really hard in the bats? Yes. But if you're watching anything about minor league baseball or spring training, Gage Jump is making it hard on a lot of people in the pros right now. So is Cade Anderson and other pitchers that were here. But this team, I believe, beats that 24 team in a series, 2 out of 3. Maybe you get shut down by Gage Jump, but 2 out of 3, you win. Why do they win? I do think they're more talented, but also this team is together. This team has a bond that is special. They care about one another. And like I said this weekend, it's not like I'm saying that 24 team didn't care about one another, didn't love one another. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is this is another level to that. This is closer to that 23 team love, right? I'm going to bring this up again. Chris Stanfield being mentioned by Santiago Garcia in his magic moment. It was Santi's magic moment. He's the one that went out there and shoved. But he stood up and said, Chris, I'm happy you're back. To me, that's beautiful. That tells me just the kind of leader Chris Stanfield is. You don't hear a lot of talk about lacking leadership anymore, do you? Now, this team had leadership prior to Chris Stanfield coming back. Don't get me wrong. But you see the leadership now. Like we said, that one game against ULL, I said it lacked leadership. I'll own up to it. But that piece got worked out. Another bright spot on Friday was Gavin Guidry, G Unit. I don't care what you say, kid looked good. Let me get you his line before I go any further, before you yell at me. Why is it doing that? Okay. Gavin Guidry did take the loss. He's now 3-2 on the year. Kind of sucks. He went an inning and 2/3. He gave up 3 hits and 3 runs and 3 earned runs. Yeah. And he threw 32 pitches. Oh, before I even get to Guidry, they do stripes over at Go Deep Dive. I'm going to give a stripe. Zach Cowan, welcome to the inner circle, my friend. God, I'm so happy you've came. Before the beginning of the year on a preview show, I said Zach Cowan would be your Sunday guy. This is a Zach Cowan I thought we would have. This Zach Cowan could have fought for a starting position if he was here at the beginning of the year. His fastball was working, his changeup was working, which always works, but he had his slider working amazingly. And he was able to breathe life into this team for 3 1/3 of an inning. He ignited that comeback and got you the lead over Vanderbilt with C. Let me just make sure I'm not lying to you real quick. Yeah. In the 8th inning, and he also kept you in the game, let's just say that. But in the 8th inning, he gave you that 12-10 lead. It was off the back of Zach Cowan. Let me give you a little compare and contrast. Let's talk about pitching. Because Saturday's Cooper Moore didn't have his best night either, but I still believe he gave you a quality start. Let's compare and contrast Kason Evans and Cooper Moore's days to William Schmidt's today's. Now, William Schmidt looked great. And by the way, if you're wondering about William Schmidt exiting the game today, I did hear from some birdies that I know that Guidry did have some tightness in his back, and he could have continued. Jay wanted to be cautious. He didn't want to take a chance in the first weekend of SEC play and having a chance of hurting Guidry. It's nothing serious. This is from people who would know, who were around the team. I can promise you right now, I was worried to death about Schmitty, but he's okay. You have a week to rest. Hopefully he'll use that rest, and we should have a good Schmitty for next Sunday. All right? So, Schmidt today. Going into the bottom of first, he was carrying a 4-0 lead. It's pretty nice when you're on the mound. Well, you can walk to the mound with a 4-0 lead on the road in a hostile environment on turf, which, by the way, ban turfed mounds. I would say ban turf fields. I get the advantage they have. We heard about their advantage for a week from the idiots across the bridge. But I get it. I have their advantages. I'm a traditionalist. I want grass and I want dirt. Stepping on that mound with a 4-0 lead in that hostile environment, already down 2 games, needing this game to keep yourself from being put on the ventilator, I'd say, early in the season. With a 4-0 lead, you can go out there and kind of strut your stuff. You can throw something a little different. You can attack the zone a little bit more because you have a lead. On Friday night, for example, Kason Evans goes out. They give him 1-run cushion. Good. Vanderbilt scores 2. Offense came around, gave you 3. Now you go into the mound with a 4-2 lead. He gives up 1. 4-3. Then in the third, gives up 2 more. See how a 4-0 lead kind of frees you up? Yeah, you had a 1-run lead, but God, I really hate blaming umpires. That dude was terrible Friday. God awful. The zone wasn't expanding as some people said on Friday night. It wasn't doing this all night, but it wasn't good. Kason Evans pitched a little tighter. And why I hate artificial mounds? Well, Kason didn't look comfortable on that mound, to be quite honest with you. I don't know how you can be. But that doesn't excuse the walks and the runs given up. I get it. Hear me perfectly clear. Kason Evans is your Friday guy. Don't get it twisted thinking Schmitty threw so well today, he should move to Friday. Don't get it twisted. I'll even say this. 3 of the runs Schmitty gave up today, those are wind-aided bombs. Now, they're still home runs. They still got up in the jet stream. But they're winated. You have the same weather you had Friday night and Saturday night. Those aren't out. Smitty pitched his butt off today. What I love about Casey Evans in that Friday role is he's a fighter. He's competitive. He has a different switch to him. He's closer to Gavin Guidry than William Schmidt is. And Schmidt's a dog. Like I told y'all last night, or on Saturday night, I apologize because it's Monday morning now. I wanted I wanted William Schmidt to walk on that mound with the Play Boosie hat and showing them that BR get it out you. Now, if you know Baton Rouge rap music, you know what I'm talking about. And Schmitty did that. Kaysen is your Friday guy. He's going to be your Friday guy for the rest of this year, and he's going to be your Friday guy next year. If you like Schmidt on Sunday, you're going to love him on Saturday next year. He's not supplanting Cooper Moore unless something terrible happens, which I don't want to happen. You have your first 1, 2, 3. You have your first full weekend rotation that Jay's ever had here. Stop trying to mess with it. You can keep saying, move this guy, move that guy. Somebody brought up today after the game about moving Devin Sheeran into a starting role. That is a spur-of-the-moment emotional response. We do not need to move Devin Sheeran into a starting role. Why don't you move Devin Sheeran into a starting role? Because you need him on the weekends. Who are you going to replace Devin Sheeran with? Kaysen Evans? No. Cooper Moore? No. William Schmidt? No. Throw him in the midweek, then you burn him. And you don't have that arm for the weekend. A lot of you fans say midweek games don't matter. Well, then why are you throwing one of your best arms? Why? It's starting to look like Jay finally has the 8 guys he needs, the old Skip mentality of you need 8 to win the postseason. Who are your 8? Kaysen, Cooper Moore, William Schmidt, Devin Sheeran, Ethan Plog, Jaden Newt, Santiago Garcia, and Devin Sheeran. With the addition of Zach Cowan, that makes it 8. They can keep up what they're doing so far this year. That's going to make it a lot easier going through SEC play. Midweek games are going to change now. They're still going to try to win midweek games. If you don't know that Jay Johnson wants to win midweek games, you're not paying attention. But they're going to change now. You're going to start seeing guys get rest. You're going to start seeing younger guys starting. You'll start seeing younger guys playing more. You're going to start seeing a Ruckert and maybe at times a defensive change in the middle of a game to Ethan Kloss at shortstop. Somebody brought this up as well. Another question that got brought up. Jay had a discussion in an interview. It wasn't on video, but Jay stated something to the effect of making personnel changes. And they were wondering that's going to be coaching staff. No. That is the polite way to say we're going to put people in different positions than they've been currently playing to better the team. Has he done that? He did today. John Pearson at third. And I was critical of Trent Carraway going into today's game on Saturday night, going into Sunday's game. Why was I critical of him? I feel like it would benefit Trent Carraway to sit down and watch the speed of the game. Trent Carraway is an amazing, amazing baseball player. I promise you, Oregon State was not happy he left. But he wanted to come here and play for Jay Johnson and get this development. I know it's all D1 baseball, right? The speed of the game changes from what is Oregon State. It's not the Pac-10 or Pac-12 anymore. I don't know what division they're in anymore. It's too much changing in college sports for me to worry about that. But from anywhere you go, whether it's Pac-10, Pac-12, Big Ten, Big East, ACC, you go to the SEC, which, yes, the ACC is close, but it's not the SEC. You come to the SEC, the speed of the game changes. Earlier in the year during non-cons, I said, I don't know if we're playing really fast white boys or we're slow at third. I think we were slow at third. Do I think Trent Caraway, his talent limits him to being that slow at third? No. I just think it's moving a little fast for him. Give him a couple of days, let him watch. Because it's funny, you can sit down and watch baseball and get better. You can watch it. If you know how to watch the game properly, you can watch it and get better. And I believe Trent Caraway can do that. Do I think John Pearson takes the spot at third from here on out? No. I don't think he gets the full-time starting position for many reasons other than what I'm saying. And I'm not going to talk about those reasons because those told me in confidence, and I'm not going to tell you that. You can't get me drunk because I don't drink anymore either. But Josh Pearson did a great job today at third. And he had good at bats. I almost put one out. He's going to push Trent Caraway, which is good. Does Trent Caraway start every game from here on out the rest of the season? I don't have a crystal ball, but if I had to put money on it, no. I see Trent Caraway sharing time at third with Braden Simpson and John Pearson. Braden Simpson, whether you paid attention or not, was a third baseman at High Point. He wasn't a second baseman. I know he got ranked as a top 50 second baseman in the country coming into the season, but that was a projection of where he would play here at LSU. He was projected to play second. Seth Dardar came in and fought for that spot. Braden Simpson's a great third baseman as well. Coming into today's game, I would have put money on Braden Simpson getting the start today at third over John Pearson. That's why I don't coach college baseball. Before the season started, we talked about the depth we had. You're seeing the depth. You're just seeing the depth from a standpoint of parts of the depth are failing or they're not playing up to their potential for a better explanation. I know I've kind of went off on covering the weekend's games. I don't think any of us want to talk about or hear about Friday and Saturday or even much Sunday. The Dr. and Jekyll and Mr. Hyde reference kind of encapsulates it, especially on Sunday. And for that matter, let's discuss this. I apologize to anybody I called a mouth breather on Saturday night or Sunday morning. I let my emotions get the best of me. I apologize. I shouldn't say that. But what I mean by that is it's a shorter way for me to type. You read the box score and the line score of the game, the final score. And that's where you get your opinions. Today's game, how did it start? Scored 4 runs in the first. Walk, hit by pitch, walk, pass ball. First run on the board. Later in the inning, Omar Cerner comes up, drives one to left field. And Mancini in left field makes a web gem of a play. That kid is good. Can he please get drafted? Get him out of the SEC. That kid is too good. He's good at the plate and he's good in the field. He made a web gem of a play. That turns into a sac fly. 0 for 1 in the scorebook. Walks. Overs. You can't just read the box score of the final score and make your decisions or your interpretations of how somebody's playing. I've tried to tell you guys, they're hitting it right at people too. All right? after a loss, before you jump on X and say anything stupid, go back and just go to Wheels on YouTube. He's a great YouTube channel. You can it's great for if you want to know more about college baseball and LSU as well, because he puts all the games up there. Take a breath, go watch Wheels and see what happened in the game. Don't just depend on the final line score, the box score. You'll be a better fan for it and more informed. At the end of the day, the Tigers lost the series. Whoop-de-doo. I don't care. You weren't going to win every series. You weren't going to go 30-0. I wanted you to. It wasn't going to happen. They can build off of this. They got this win on Sunday, and they were able to salvage the series and come home with some confidence. In the magic moment, Jay, that man's after my heart. He quoted the Wedding Crashers, a quote from Wedding Crashers, rule number 76, no excuses, play like a champion. And he gave the magic moment to the whole team. Jay still believes in these guys. He won't tell you this. I will. He lost belief in that 2014. He did. When Jay Johnson's going out there trying to get tossed to try to drive up some energy in the team, that's his last resort. Now, is Jay doing changes, making changes, and trying things here and there with this team? Yeah, but he's just trying to find answers. He still believes in these guys. You should too. Rule number 76, no excuses. Play like a champion. Let's go to some of your questions before we talk about Grambling for a short minute, because there isn't too much to talk about, but there is some. At S. Reedy on X, Stan, my man, why do you believe the rotation should stay as it is? And how do you deploy Rizzy to be more effective? Well, I kind of talked about why I believe the rotation should stay as it is, but I'll kind of expound on it a little more. Who's your best starting pitcher on the weekend right now? I still say Cooper Moore. He's a Saturday guy. Well, he's also going to be a matchup nightmare for everybody in the SEC on Saturday. Yeah, he should stay there. Kason Evans is a sophomore with Omaha experience. He's going to be fine. You saw him against Sac State. He looked great. This Friday was his worst start he's had. I've given the excuse in the beginning of the year that his defense and his offense failed him. And they did on Friday, but it was his worst start. He's going to get better. Next Friday, he's going to come out and he's going to be throwing flames. I've stopped giving like predictions for a reason. They haven't came out very well, and I'm not a little stitious. I'm superstitious. So, yeah. And Schmidt's a Sunday guy. Could he be a Saturday guy right now? Yes, but he's not gonna jump over Cooper Moore. In case Evans doesn't fall back to Saturday or Sunday. And William Schmidt on a Sunday, like today shows, he's a matchup from hell for anybody in SEC. Most guys on Sunday in the SEC are similar to what Vanderbilt had today. Hard throwing guy, out of the zone a lot, has some good stuff. He has multiple pitches, and he tries to have batters chase. And when they play a version of baseball like Jay Johnson plays, it doesn't work. They're not going to chase. Did they chase some today? Yeah, they did. That's the one thing about this offense I'll say about this weekend that disappointed me. They've regressed in the sense of plate discipline. Now, they looked a lot better at points today, but again, it's that Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde mentality of this team right now. They regressed in the sense that they started chasing and they're striking out a lot more this weekend. Jay's going to fix that between now and Tuesday, especially by Thursday. Who we played this weekend? I'll check it later. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm tired. The rotation is set. Accept it. That's all I'm going to tell you. Accept it. If you don't like Kason on Friday, don't watch. There's a bunch of people who would like a cheaper seat and Outlet Box on Friday. How do you deploy Rizzy to be more effective? Now, how much I believed in Rizzy beginning of the year, I said he was your Saturday guy. I hadn't seen Cooper Moore pitch in the spring side of the scrimmages to really get a take on it that I believed in. He's phenomenal. But Rizzy is not your weekend guy, and he shouldn't be. I'll be honest right now, when Rizzy comes into the mound, I get nervous. Not because I think he's terrible. I know he can be effective and great, but which Rizzy you getting that day? Is he going to throw 3 behind somebody's back, or is he going to be lights out? And that can change from batter to batter or inning to inning. I'll criticize Jay one time. I did not like Rizzy coming in to that situation after Guidry. To me, Rizzy is a guy right now who needs to have a clean inning. He needs to come in to start the inning. He needs to come in, have a little extra time to warm up with his warm-up pitches, feel the mound out, not have anybody on base, anything of that nature. I think he's better when he has a clean inning to start. Who would I have brought in after Guidry? Personally, Devin Sheeran. That's who I was hoping for. Everybody heard me say Schmitty. Why do I keep saying Guidry? I feel like I keep saying Guidry talking about Schmitty. Schmitty go in today, wear to play Boosie hat, show him that BR get it out you. Then I said, Devin Sheeran come in. I want to hear them power chords. I want to hear that death metal. I want to hear him grunting, just throwing fireballs. And then I want Santiago Garcia coming in as a mariachi player like Antonio Banderas and Desperado. Ding, 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 just singing that sweet music with spin in it. He brought in Rizzy. I got nervous and I didn't like it. Jason Armstrong, to give you a different outlook on that decision, wanted to see Santiago Garcia in that position. And I'm not saying he's wrong. He's not. I personally like a guy like Devin Sheeran in a position where you have a runners on moment in the middle of an inning where it's a tight ball game, because he has a fire to him that kind of can help quell the tide. Every pitcher has a different demeanor on the mound. Devin Sheeran comes in, he has a demeanor like a old Brian Wilson, former LSU baseball Tiger and played for the San Francisco Giants. He has that Brian Wilson kind of mentality of, if you hit it, it's because the ball hit the bat, not because you hit the ball. That's what I wanted in that situation. Now Rizzy comes in, doesn't look great. I'm going to keep saying something blue in the face, or until I finally get fed up. The talent's there. Something is off. I told y'all before Friday, the talent is there with Zach Cowan. He needs to develop that slider, and he needs to be able to throw for strikes. Talent's there with Maverick Rizzy. He just needs to figure it out. And I can promise you, Nate Yeski is spending that time trying to help Maverick Rizzy figure it out. So what do I think about Rizzy in his best scenario? I think he should have a clean inning, start the inning. That simple. Start the inning. Have it planned for watch pitch counts, look at matchups. All right, we're going to bring Rizzy in this inning. Start off, hey, buddy, you're done. Thank you for your work. Rizzy, you're next. That's the scenario that I would do it. Another question I have from a good friend over at Timeouts and Tangents. You follow Mr. AP at AJP413 and follow Timeouts and Tangents. TNT Pod Nola on X. He asks, why is Yaman not getting any run? It's a very good question. I love Eddie Yaman. I'll be honest about something in the scrimmages I saw. Is Yaman a talented catcher? Yes. Is he the third best catcher on his team? Yes. Personally, if I was the head coach of the OSU baseball Tigers, I probably would have started Yaman today just to see what he did, because he could have a mentality of, I'm not going to let this opportunity slip out of my hands. I'll crawl through broken glass. I'll eat broken glass to make sure I'm still sitting behind the plate every chance I get. I would love to see Eddie Yaman get more runs somewhere. If you have a scenario where, you have a lefty on the mound and York's coming up in late innings, yeah, I'd like to see Yaman get that at bat, because he can go to first and he can play good first. The only way I see us having Eddie Yaman behind the plate from here on out is possibly midweeks, trying to give Aaron Beatty and Omar Cerna get off their legs and just let them focus on what they're doing at the plate, or those late inning substitutions at first. You're not you're not going to swap them out for a pinch hit with Beatty or Cerna, because they're all right-handed. So there's no batting matchup you can play there. I want to see Eddie Yaman get more run. It's just turning into a situation where, especially with Stanfield back, you having a hard place to find where to put him. I saw somebody today talk about how they want Harden to get more playing time, and the person that I saw said that I love them to death. I just don't know where you'd put him right now. You going to take Stanny out? No. Curry out? No. Brown? No. So is Harden going to play the infield? No. There are guys that you can get some playing time for more easily than Eddie Yaman and Daniel Harden right now. Not saying I don't want them to get more playing time. I'm just saying it's harder to get them playing time at the moment. It's matchup baseball. That's all it is. And he also asked, will Pearson get more play at third, and why Pearson over Simpson? Well, personally, I wouldn't put Pearson over Simpson. And I love John Pearson. I love baby Pearson. My wife calls our children the Pearsons as a joke sometimes, because my oldest son is skinny, taller, dark haired. My youngest son is chunky and blonde haired. They resemble them, Josh and John. I love the Pearsons. I got Josh Pearson's autograph picture right there in his baseball card. That's going to be from my son's room, but I haven't got the shadow box made yet to put everything together. I love John Pearson and I love Josh. Braden Simpson's a better third baseman. John Pearson got to start today, I believe, because Braden's been struggling at the plate. There may be more to it. I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if there's more to it than that. But John Pearson also come in and provide a spark, kind of similar to how I saw Eddie Yaman today if he got time behind the plate. I still start Braden Simpson over John Pearson. Now, would John Pearson get more run? Yeah. Especially if play at third base doesn't get better. If Trent Caraway doesn't step up a gear and catch up with the speed of the game in the SEC, yeah, John Pearson is going to get more run at third. Y'all all know that I have a soft spot for Seth Dardar. I do. I think he needs to get out of his head at the plate. Somebody was talking yesterday about how. Let me touch on that since it came to my mind. They were saying that play at first base, second base, and third base sucked. Huh. They said Dardar shouldn't be playing second. He's not getting the balls he should get to. Well, I respectfully disagree, sir. I remember a kid who was making plays in shallow right field for you in Jacksonville. Did Dardar have 2 errors in the same game? Yes, he did. What happened the next day? The baseball gods came out, and when you were at your lowest point, they're going to get you the ball. And he was fine. Dardar's defense is not going to limit his playing time. It's going to be his at-bats at the plate. He needs to get out of his head. It's turned from He's upset that he's getting walked so many times because he had such good plate discipline to now I'm going to try to drive anything thrown to me. And you're getting outside of Jay Johnson's philosophy of baseball. Defense at first base. I don't know what you're expecting with Zach York. Somebody did come in my comments and say, he's no Trey Morgan. No, duh. Trey Morgan was a artist at first base. Not was. He is an artist at first base. A lot of people didn't see Trey Morgan playing first base in professional baseball. I did. I don't care about your size. If you can do what that man does at first base with a first baseman's mitt, you play him there. He has athleticism to play outfield. Yeah, I get it. But he also creates work. He's Mozart at first base. He's Mozart. He's Da Vinci. He's Michelangelo at first base. He's an artist. If you compare every first baseman we get here at LSU to Trey Morgan, you'll never be happy. Stop doing it. Stop. Zach York, in his own right, is an artist at first base. You see how that guy, when he said defense at first, second, and third is bad, he didn't say shortstop. There's a reason why I didn't say shortstop, because I believe we have the best the best shortstop in the country. I do believe Baum is better than Rock Chalowski, and that's not a bias to me. I have no problem saying somebody's better than another guy. I think Milam is the best shortstop in the country. Zach York has bailed Milam out. Not to be a slight on Stephen Milam whatsoever. For instance, what was that? Is that Saturday night or Friday night? I believe it was Saturday night. Milam makes a play up the middle, deep in the hole where I don't even think he should have even got there. But he's Stephen Milam, and he gets there. Makes an off-platform throw with sidearm to Zach York. This was Friday because this was the first challenge that Jay had. And that was the one that York came off the bag and tried to backswipe the runner going past him at first base. That is not on York. It's not on York. It's not on Steven either. That's a reason why they didn't have an error Friday on that. Steven wasn't even supposed to get to that ball. Why is that not on York? When the ball comes off, pulls him off the bag this way, yeah, he needs to get there and catch it, because if he doesn't get there and catch it, guess where that ball ends up? In the dugout. And what happens then? That guy goes from first to second. He comes off the bag, gets the ball, and tries to backswipe. He misses. Why'd he miss? The ball is that far off the bag. And I'm not trying to ding Stephen Milam when I say that. Stephen Milam shouldn't have got to that ball deep in the field, deep in the hole behind second base. And he tried to make a web gem. Zach York bailed him out. So that ball goes in the dugout. E6, runner advances on the throw. Dead ball. Zach York has saved so many errors at first base. If you listen to David Billiot, which you should read his writings at theno.com, where his blog is posted right now. David says no more pickoffs. Do not make a single pickoff attempt ever again if you're an LSU pitcher. Stop it. I kind of agree. There are a lot more errors that could have been made off of pickoff attempts than have been. Why? Because Zach York hasn't let them. The defense at third base, we went over that. So I'm not going to beat a dead horse. Your defense is shaping up. You're kind of being too hard on these guys. It's that simple. Third base defense, I'd start Braden Simpson. That's my 2 cents. What I believe has no influence on this team. Let's get to Grambling before I get to that. Let's get to Grambling. Give me a second, guys. I'm sorry. I should have been a little more prepared. So, Grambling right now is 5-13. They're 2-1 their conference play. In the 5 games they have won, they have beaten Alcorn State, Alabama A&M, Jackson State, Alabama State twice this weekend in conference play. They lost on Saturday. Well, I think this is actually going to be a good test for your LSU Tigers. A lot of people didn't realize this. If you listened to this show, you would have realized it because I found out on the show. LSU was kind enough to share the box with Grambling in the Dartmouth Northeastern weekend. They both shared a similar opponent that weekend. Grambling played Dartmouth Northeastern. LSU played Dartmouth Northeastern, knowing that the Grambling was coming back to Baton Rouge for this midweek. Now, Grambling didn't do well again that weekend. They lost all 4 matchups between Northeastern and Dartmouth. Matter of fact, Northeastern got their first win against Grambling that Friday, 1-4. They lost to Dartmouth 11-12. Northeastern, they got 10-run ruled, and then Northwestern. No, so they played. Okay, so I apologize. They didn't have to play a 4-game stand. They played a 3-game stand against them, 2 against Northeastern. Northeastern 10-run ruled them on Sunday, and they beat them 4-1 on Friday. Dartmouth beat them 12-11. So I tell you all the time not to look at box scores and make a decision. I'll be honest with you, I have not watched Grambling State play. It's never really on my things to do list. Nothing against Grambling State. They do run a good program there, and they do get good ball players there. This just doesn't tickle my fancy. It's not clean enough baseball, which that's rich right now coming from this LSU team this weekend. It's not clean enough baseball to drive my curiosity to watch. Looking at those 3 games, against Dartmouth, they put up a really good fight. It was 11-12. Northeastern, they put up a really good fight. It was 1-4. Dartmouth and Northeastern are not bad teams. They did get 10-run ruled by Northeastern on Sunday, but who are we to talk? Grambling State's going to come in. They're not going to have their frontline guys because they can't because they're in conference play. But it's like we've always said, especially with these in-state teams, they come into Alec Box. This is their World Series. Grambling State is not going to compete for a national championship this year at any level. They're 5-13. There's levels to this. Same way I talked about Trent Caraway coming here from the Oregon State. The gap is wider between LSU and Grambling. I had a discussion with David Billiot and Zach Nunez about this earlier. It was a discussion on accident because I was asking about the USA final Tuesday, who was going to pitch. But I asked them who pitches Tuesday. And boy, they text a lot. I said, who pitches Tuesday? Zach Nunez believes it's Zion Theophilus. David's calling for a Dax Dothy start or Fontenot. You also have some guys that did not throw this weekend, like Connor Binge. I kind of see a more of a probably a Grant Fontenot, possibly a Dax Dothy. It doesn't really matter who you throw Tuesday right now, in my opinion. I'm more worried about getting the bats right. The guys I want to see throw and get better are not going to throw in the midweek. Should we beat Grambling State? Yes. Yeah. Do I hope Jay Johnson does not agree to the 10-run rule? Yes. Sorry, David. I know it means you're going to be there a lot longer, but I want to see this team flush it out. I want to see this team have to go getting at bats in a game they don't care about when it's already out of reach. Hopefully it's out of reach. This team needs to just – it gets into a moment. If you played baseball, you get into a time where, say, you're in a slump or You're not seeing it well where you just have to go get a tee or get a buddy to soft toss or throw it to you in the cage. You just need to keep swinging until you find it. Similar to golf. A lot of you probably play golf. Sometimes you just need to go to the range and you're hitting it terrible, but if you're there long enough, sometimes you find it. Now, do I think these kids need to find their swings? No. They need to find what is limiting them mentally. Now, before we go, let's discuss that. What I think is holding this team back right now from reaching their full potential. Sunday's game against Vanderbilt was a great example of that. To start the game, they came out focused, composed, right? Vanderbilt helped you, limited you to 2 hits for a long time, but you had 6 runs. Now, does coming out of the game, you start focused. You're disciplined at the plate. You take good at bats. You get on base. You score on pass balls. You get a lead. Then 2 or 3 innings go by, which it's a third of the game, but it goes by like that if you're not paying attention. And nothing really drives. Nothing really gets you going. Everything kind of slows down. You kind of put that car into neutral and you just coast. That's when this team loses its composure, loses its focus. I don't know if there was a team meeting in the dugout today. I don't know if Jay jumped on somebody or not. I don't think he would, but they got their composure back and their focus back, and they picked it up in the middle innings between the fourth and the fifth. Then they lost it again. Then you go into the late innings, and they get the composure back. They score 5 runs, and they win the game. They need to keep their composure all game long. Give me another example of how they lose their composure, Paul. Well, too easy. Saturday night, Omar Cerna's behind the plate. The pitch is ball 4. On the pitch, the runner at first is taking off to second. It's ball 4. He gets up, throws a laser into center field. Runner moves to third. Unforced error. The runner's going to second. It's ball 4. These are things that you can prepare for prior to the pitch, knowing the pitch count. Me and David talked about it with the play on Friday with the runner at second. That carry through the ball to second, the kid was still safe on the hard ground ball to him. He didn't pay attention to where the runners were in the defensive positioning prior to the pitch. I'm not criticizing him. That's what happened. If this team decides to find their composure and hold on to it for 9 innings, they'll be a scary team. They'll be the team that we anticipate them being coming into the season. Can they do it? I think they can. There's no better coach in the country at mental gymnastics than Jay Johnson. But that's what's holding this team back. Do me a favor. Don't add to it. Let's lift them up. They'll figure it out on the field. Jay will make them figure it out on the field, or he'll find somebody who will figure it out on the field. That's all it is. It was a rough weekend. It was a rough week, from drama outside of the field to drama inside the field to errors to takes on X over the weekend with the Vanderbilt series. Look, do what this team needs to do right now and flush it. Did they look great today? No. Did they win? Yes. Take it and let's run with it. As a fan base, flush Friday and Saturday. Stop making jokes about the kids. Stop making jokes about the kids. It's that simple. It's the road to 18. That's all that matters. 18. I said earlier, it's not just 18. It could be less, but the road to 18. We're one step closer to it. Let's get 17 more. Before I let you go, I want to remind you about Pick to Click. It's every game day. We're trying to get it out sooner. There are people that are in the post that if y'all want it sooner, y'all can kind of just poke them about it. Just be like, hey, get your Pick to Click to Paul sooner. A lot of them are really good about it. FYI. Don't forget, Jake Brown Baseball will be the next prize for Pick to Click. And let's see. We're giving away the Jesus One shirt still on Tuesday. Who's going to be my guy Tuesday to give that away for? Go back to the well. Let's get Derek Curiel. If Derek Curiel hits a home run at all on Tuesday, whether it's the first inning, the ninth inning, whether he's the first person or the seventh person to hit a home run, if Derek Curiel hits a home run and you comment Derek Curiel on the post, you have a chance of winning the Jesus One shirt. Congratulations to Reach for winning the Gavin Guidry signed baseball card. And before I let you go, I want to remind you that God loves you. All he wants you to do is love him back. I love you. Thank you for taking the time to watch the show. We went almost an hour and a half tonight. Did not plan on that. But thank you for subscribing, for following, and giving me an opportunity to do something that I'm really enjoying doing. If you have any suggestions of how the show should be shaped or anything you'd like to see, any ideas outside the show you'd like to see me do, DM me. DMs are open. Send them to me. A lot of you have DM me, and I'd like to say I've gained a lot of good friends, a lot of new friends, and I'm really happy about that. Some of y'all are going to come on the show. You don't know it yet. But DM me. I'm open to suggestions. If it's a stupid suggestion, I'm not going to tell you it's stupid. I just won't do it. All right? At the end of the day, guys, it's just baseball. Don't let it mess with you. I love you all. Have a good night. And we will, if I can find the button,